Today I wanted to show you how I turned this 1911 toy gun to look more something realistic like this. The grips, I took out all of the screws and then I slowly started to pull it apart. Try to keep all of the parts organized if you don't have a video to remember where they all go, and hopefully you will remember where they all go, because I even got lost a couple times. Then from there I started sanding each and every piece as best as I could, making sure to get every single part. Make sure when you're doing this you use a fine grit, and you again want to get every spot you're planning on painting. After that, I used a little bit of isopropyl alcohol to clean off the smaller parts with a thinner coat. That just makes it a lot easier than trying to sand down the part, which I don't necessarily need to do for this piece. Then, with some more isopropyl alcohol, I wiped down every part, making sure to get off all of the excess paint debris or little pieces that got stuck in there that may gunk it up, anything like that. It also helps just clean it up a little. Then, using my airbrush, I went in and painted over all of the parts where the yellow seeps through. The black I'm using is going to be used as my base coat. In a previous video I showed you can do it on unprimed plastic. That is true, but I would suggest only doing that on darker plastics like blacks or grays. For brighter colored ones like this with the yellow and the blue and the orange, I suggest going over it with a base coat. And I sprayed the inside as well in a couple spots that might be seen when you pull back the slide. So if you want to do that, you can. You don't have to. Next, I did the grips. The grips were already the color I wanted because I painted them before, but I wanted to make them a tad bit darker, so I put on some black shoe polish and let it stand for a couple seconds, and then I moved on. That was just to give it a darker tone, plus I like the glossy look the wax will give it. Next, I took Mod Podge Matte and I mixed it with some water to get a milky consistency. This is to protect that black base coat because the airbrush does such thin layers, it does wear off when you rub against it. So adding this milky layer of Mod Podge over it will kind of protect that black base coat when you're rubbing on the graphite powder or whatever you plan on using. This is just the extra step I took to help protect the finish. I suggest doing 2 or even 3 coats of that Mod Podge mixture. As you can see here, I have the graphite powder now. I prefer to use a Q-tip with it, but you can use a brush or a sponge or whatever you decide to use. But I like the way that a Q-tip applies it. put on a nice clear coat, and I did some extra details with a much brighter silver than the graphite, just for that little extra, so it's not so two-dimensional. It adds a little bit of character to the gun. Plus, I like the two-tone gunmetals. I think it turned out great. Side note, it's winter time, so when I did the clear coat, I didn't let the can warm up enough, and there was some spider webbing, but only on the slide, so I didn't feel the need to redo it. So if you are painting in the winter, please try to let your can warm up. And using some gear grease on those extra parts that get that wear, I made sure I put some grease on there, so maybe it will be a bit slicker and will last a bit longer. Now, another side note, there's a lot of stuff I wish I did with this gun. Like, I wish I could have gone in and filled those holes with some putty and seam lines in, and even made the slide, when you pulled it back, you can actually see into the chamber. But that costs money, which I cannot afford to do. I would love to buy another one of these and show you the process I would take to make that gun a reality. I've seen somebody else do a similar thing with it, and I would love to do my own version. So please subscribe, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Till next time, hope you enjoyed.